Unlike most tourist destinations, the visitors to Longlu Town surge in crowds and depart swiftly, just like the tides of the sea. The beach is sparsely populated with tourists. People here are resting and waiting for nightfall.
I like walking to work, so I can think along the way.
It is less than 12 hours left until the launch of Long March 5Y2 rocket. Huang Bing, as usual, is walking to the Launch Control Center. He will remain seated for a long time.
No matter what happens, you cannot leave your post easily. You are not allowed to bring water in, so you have to sneak away to drink some water.
Over 7 months ago, sitting in the same seat, Huang Bing witnessed the successful launch of Long March 5Y1 rocket. This time, he feels much more confident.
All the preparations on the ground, including fueling, testing, and preparation, were all normal. There's not a lot of difference between Long March 5 Y1 and Y2 rockets with the successful launch of Y1. We truly believe that the probability of a successful Y2 launch was quite high.
Everything is in order and smooth, almost perfect.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
In the night sky, the massive Long March 5 rocket traces a beautiful arc. Everyone has been accustomed to such success.
I'm so excited. It leaves me panting for more.
The crowd on the beach starts to disperse, but suddenly, the Launch Control Center fills with tension.
We suddenly notice the speed and altitude curves on the large screen, deviated at around 300 seconds or so. At first, it was hard to believe it had already exited the atmosphere and we had passed the most dangerous phase. Why did it deviate? There was nothing we could do from the ground, but watched helplessly. We stood there not knowing what to do.
According to our station, on July 2nd at 7:23 p.m., the Long March 5Y2 rocket was launched at the Wenchang Space Launch Site. The rocket experienced an anomaly during the flight and the launch mission failed.
The unexpected failure of Long March 5Y2 rocket forced the postponement of the Chang'e 5 exploration mission originally scheduled for the end of that year. It is the most torturous night for Wang. road to start over from scratch. In the southern suburbs of Beijing, China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology is the top rocket research and development institution in China, the birthplace of most members of the Long March rocket family. It's been a place of many great glories for more than 60 years. But this summer, the entire academy is shrouded in depression, with an air of anxiety and unease. As the chief designer of Long March 5 rocket, Li Dong knows well that the space industry and high risks go hand in hand. Once you choose this field, you are destined to deal with setbacks and failures.
A single success does not guarantee final success. Even several successes do not. There were cases where rockets that have been launched dozens or even hundreds of times still had problems in many countries.
However, unlike in the past, the Long March 5 rocket, currently the largest payload rocket in China, signifies a major upgrade in China's launch vehicle capabilities. It's a milestone in the transition from a major player to a power in space. This failure was so hard to accept.
I started working on this project in 2000. For over 20 years. I focused solely on this project. All my personal knowledge, passion, and time were devoted to this project. It's like watching my child grow up step by step. The pressure you feel, the guilt towards our career, our country, and our people weighs heavily on everyone in the Long March 5 team.
The Chinese lunar exploration program, the Mars exploration, China Manned Space, and many major national projects are all waiting for the Long March 5 rocket. There is not much time for pain and tears. It is urgent to investigate the accident cause. However, the debris of the Y-2 rocket had already fallen into the Pacific Ocean, and the accident site could not be recreated. There are over 100,000 components, with more than 50,000 just for the engine. So, where to start? Zero out. Everything must return to the starting point and start from scratch. Since returning from Wenchang, Wang Weibin has spent more and more time at the test site. This is the main battlefield for him and his team to zero out. Testing is the most direct means to check the working state of the engine. Only through experiments is it possible to find clues to the Y-2 failure. Since the initiation of the hydrogen-oxygen engine project in 2001, Wang Weibin has lost count of how many days and nights he has spent in this control room over the past 20 years. But what remains etched in memory is each single failure. In 2012, as the engine development work was coming to an end, an unexpected incident occurred during a routine test.
At around 180 seconds, the engine malfunctioned, followed by explosions. The entire test workshop was engulfed in flames. It was a horrible scene. The entire engine was burnt out.
Wang Weibin didn't expect that. Even bigger setbacks would follow one after another. Failure. Another failure. Yet another failure. There were no choices, no shortcuts. They could only keep testing, struggling through one failure after another.
You can't rely solely on analysis. You have to try. In our industry, we say engines are proven through testing. Relentless testing is the only way, just like pushing a car to its limits. By driving it in the desert and over rough terrains, to expose its weak points.
It took a full 2 years, and the loss of 4 engines for Wang Weibin's team to finally conquer this tough challenge.
China's hydrogen-oxygen engine is developed independently. As you can't buy it, independent innovation is the only way, which involves great challenges. However, in striving to be a major power in the space industry, it is imperative to conquer this.
Now, Wang Weibin must overcome another, even greater challenge. Identify the cause of the Y2 failure in the shortest time. The only reliable way to overcome this challenge is to do it the hard way by testing. In the past, they hoped every test run could go smoothly without any malfunctions. This time, however, they are actually hoping for that troubling malfunction to appear as soon as possible. During each and every test, it is confusing that the malfunction was like a ghost, appearing and disappearing unpredictably.
It was random. You might not do anything about it. Just try another one and it was fine again. This ghost was elusive, with test results being inconsistently good or bad. When a test ran well, you might think your measures were effective, but actually, the ghost might just not have shown up that time. It could easily mislead you and affect your judgment.
Even though they knew the ghost exists, and sometimes even caught glimpses of it, they could never quite capture it. This left the development team totally exhausted.
It was a very anxious time for everyone. The technical issues were so deeply buried that general knowledge and theories couldn't explain it at that time.
They can't solve it in theory, so they have to solve it in practice. The problem was buried deep, so we had to dig much deeper. To troubleshoot, the team devised 54 different scenarios, testing each component thoroughly for each project. Test, analyze, design, improve, and produce. Then test, analyze, and design again. Repeat the cycle again and again. It is a hard time.
We called it the darkest hours. That was the hardest part. We had to work late at night every day.
We tried every engineering solution but failed. It was painful. We had no clear direction.
Sometimes we thought we were getting close, and then the test went wrong again.
Every direction we tried was continuously proven wrong, which was devastating.
A series of space projects were awaiting it. China's space relies on Long March 5 and YF-77 engine. It felt like we were groping in the dark, unsure of where the light was or what direction to take.
But they finally reach a turning point. The scene of the Y2 failure is replicated in the ground test. A component of the engine experiences abnormal vibrations, resulting in very fine cracks. The ghost has been caught. On April 16, 2018, China National Space Administration announced that the cause of Y2 failure had been identified.
According to test results, the failure was due to an anomaly in the turbo pump exhaust system of the Stage 2 hydrogen-oxygen engine. In a complex thermodynamic condition, it caused a significant instantaneous drop in engine thrust, leading to the launch failure.
The dawn of zeroing out for the Long March 5 rocket is coming. A month later, another space project is initiated. On May 21, 2018, a small satellite weighing just over 1 ton is sent to space, 400,000 kilometers away from Earth. This compact communications satellite is named Chuya-Qiao. The successful launch of Chuya-Qiao marks the Chinese lunar exploration program. The Chang'e 4 mission has entered a new stage. According to the trilogy of orbiting, landing, and returning, after Chang'e 3 successfully landed on the lunar surface on December 14, 2013, the next step was for Chang'e 5 to complete the returning mission. Due to the unexpected failure of Long March 5Y2 on July 2, 2017, the Chang'e 5 mission was delayed. Compared to the bulky Chang'e 5, which weighs more than 8 tons, Chang'e 4, which weighs over 3 tons, is less than half the weight of Chang'e 5. The Long March 3 carrier rocket descended into lunar orbit. Therefore, the Chang'e 4 mission was not affected by the failure of Long March 5 rocket and was launched as originally planned. In fact, shortly after the successful landing of Chang'e 3 on the moon, there was a debate about the use of its backup satellite, Chang'e 4.
At that time, there were actually 3 choices. One was not to launch it, and to leave it in the warehouse. The second choice was to launch it, but where to? We planned to land on the southern hemisphere of the moon.
Some even thought about landing it near Chang'e 3 to demonstrate the high level of our control precision.
The third choice was to land on the far side of the moon.
The relay satellite Chuya-Qiao reached the predetermined location. With its 4.2 meters wide dish antenna, here on Earth, we received signals from 400,000 kilometers away in space.
3, 2, 1. Ignition.
On December 8, 2018, the Chang'e 4 probe was officially launched as planned. 23 days later, on January 3, 2019, Chang'e 4 successfully landed in the predetermined landing area on the far side of the moon.
It hit the bullseye of the target we had originally designed.
This was the first time human-made objects had appeared on the far side of the moon. Regardless of how many successors there would be, this was a historic and monumental moment. Just over an hour after landing, the world's first close-up image of the far side of the moon was successfully transmitted back to Earth through the relay satellite Chuya-Qiao. Subsequently, China's second lunar rover, Yu-22, slowly started, exiting the lander to explore the lunar surface. What discoveries and surprises will Yu-22 bring us on this strange land? The great success of Chang'e 4 inspires and motivates the team, working on the reflight of Long March 5 rocket, while also adding more pressure. In March 2019, the improved engine entered the assembly workshop. The reflight of the third Long March 5 Y3 rocket is imminent. Although this is already the third time participating in the assembly and testing mission of Long March 5 rocket, Cui Yun, nearly 60 years old, still stays on site, closely monitoring every detail. Speaking of these gigantic objects here, Cui Yun knows them like the back of his hand.
Long March 5 is a 2.5-stage rocket. 2 stages refer to Stage 1 and Stage 2, and the booster is called the half stage.
The final assembly is the last checkpoint before the rocket is ready, and Cui Yun is the chief overseer of this checkpoint. 40 years ago, when he first entered the field, Cui Yun was just an ordinary rocket assembly worker. Over the past 40 years, he has been the only national-level skill master in China who has participated in the entire development process of all active bundled carrier rockets. He has overseen the assembly of over 70 rockets and is known as the top expert in the assembly of China's new generation of carrier rockets. However, when faced with Long March 5 rocket that involves over 240 new technologies, his decades of experience is far from sufficient.
A rocket shouldn't introduce many new technologies. With so many new technologies, the risk increases significantly.
As the risk increases, so does the difficulty of assembly. Each of hundreds of thousands of components must be accurately placed and perfectly fitted. Any minor assembly error could lead to the launch failure. And the most challenging part is the massive size of Long March 5 rocket.
The diameter of this tank is 3.35 meters. In simple terms, the largest diameter of the rockets used to launch. The Beidou satellites and the Shenzhou spacecraft is that size. It's that big, but here, it seems small. Because there is a 5-meter one in front of me.
Not only has the size increased, but new techniques and materials are also used for the propellant tank walls. The thinnest part of the wall is only 2 millimeters thick. If you scale down a tank to the size of an egg, its thickness would be only 4/10,000ths of the eggshell. Moreover, touching is prohibited during assembly. The difficulty of such assembly is akin to dancing on the tip of a knife.
The first challenge was about accessibility. It's 5 meters in diameter. You have to be 2.5 meters tall to touch the center point, which is out of reach. If you can't reach it, you can't operate it.
Thanks to his decades of experience with rockets, after careful consideration, Cui Yun proposed that rotation was the only solution. By rotating the entire propellant tank, the top of the tank, which cannot be reached even from a ladder, can be brought down to a suitable height for operation. This brilliant idea was like an epiphany for everyone. However, getting a massive 20-ton object to rotate is no easy. In the eyes of his colleagues, Cui Yun is born for rockets, solving every problem that comes his way. If there were no suitable tools or instruments, he would make them by his hands. Without existing experience to draw on, he would make up for it with wisdom. After hundreds of experiments and countless revisions to drawings and plans, Cui Yun leads his team to successfully implement the unique rotating assembly method. Now, engineering technicians on the ground can perform various assembly procedures, enabling multiple people to work on different tasks at the same time. The assembly efficiency has been increased by 2 to 3 times.
Rotational assembly is widely used here. This is Long March 5 rocket. This is what I uniquely innovate here for China's rockets.
with less than 3 months remaining before the Y3 reflight in July. The final assembly and testing work of Cui Yun's team was also proceeding smoothly toward the completion. According to the plan, all components were soon to be packed and sent to the Wenchang space launch site in Hainan. Test runs will continue until the launch of the rocket. At 10:30 p.m. on April 4th, Wang Weibin, still working in his office, suddenly received a phone call from a colleague. The test parameters were abnormal. Hearing that, Wang Weibin felt a pang of anxiety. Since capturing the Ghost and improving the engine, there have been no parameter anomalies for several months.
We often say that never deliver with hidden risks. It is a key to the reflight, so it is of great importance. On April 6th, a meeting was held with relevant leaders, and we decided to disassemble and inspect the engine to check for any damages or defects.
Upon disassembly and inspection, the last thing anyone wanted did happen.
Another crack appeared in a critical part of the oxygen turbine.
The Ghost came back. The engine on the Y3 rocket had to be immediately recalled, and the July reflight plan was once again delayed.
If we hadn't caught it at that time, the reflight would have been doomed.
Although it is good to catch a significant flaw, the team now faces another major challenge. What to do next? By this time, 21 months have passed since the Y2 failure. The doubts from the whole world pushed the development team to the brink of collapse.
From aviation, an area we previously did not fully understand, we sought advice from professors and experts and equipped ourselves with the necessary knowledge.
The joint effort is highly effective, expanding the team's cognitive boundaries.
It is like a natural progression. Once you have a breakthrough in understanding the mechanism, it is much less difficult than initially expected to choose solutions to problems.
The team unified their thoughts. Fueled by a collective determination, the designers eventually proposed an optimization plan to enhance engine reliability. In just over a month, they completed the structural improvements of the engine once again. On August 4, 2019, the acceptance review meeting for the newly improved liquid hydrogen-liquid oxygen engine of Long March 5 rocket was held in Beijing. Although the newly improved engine has previously passed a total of 11 test runs. This review meeting, gathering the top experts in the space field, is evidently of a different weight.
I feel quite anxious every time I participate in a test run. I am always walking on thin ice, teetering on the brink. Success is one step away from failure. Often, it's just that tiny bit more needed to succeed.
At 2 p.m., the test run formally began. Hydrogen-oxygen engines as the primary thrust for the rocket's core stage have an actual operational time of 500 seconds in flight. However, this review is extremely stringent. 3 engines have been tested, each running through 2 cycles, totaling 1,000 seconds. Only if all 3 engines operate flawlessly for the entire 1,000 seconds will they pass the assessment.
The test is a complete success. Congratulations.
The result exceeded expectations. It achieved complete vibration suppression.
We were definitely relieved. But the team knew that we couldn't relax and had to continue working diligently.
Indeed, this was only a midterm exam. For months later, Long March 5 rocket will embark on another mission. Only by successfully sending Chang'e 5 into lunar orbit will the hydrogen-oxygen engine pass the final test. At this moment, on the far side of the moon, the U-22 rover had been silently working in the extreme cold and heat for 265 days. Early in the morning, Li Chunlai hurries to the Ground Application System Control Center. Today, U-22 will begin its 10th lunar day of scientific exploration. During the previous lunar day, the 9th lunar day, U-22 had discovered an unknown gel-like substance in a crater on the far side of the moon.
In this place, in this crater, we discovered something that looks shiny, like glass. That's it.
During this lunar day, Li Chunlai and his team has to design a scientific route for the U-22 rover to follow to further examine this unknown substance.
So, we'll take a spectrogram from here, then move to another angle, and take another spectrogram from this spot.
Li Chunlai eagerly anticipates that U-22 would bring more surprises and scientific discoveries. In fact, during its previous explorations, U-22 had already provided scientists with numerous new findings. According to previous knowledge, the area where Chang'e 4 landed was believed to be covered with a lot of basalt. However, the spectral data sent back by U-22 indicated that the scientists' earlier assumptions were incorrect.
It's not basalt we initially thought. It's actually a type of anorthosite, which is a deep lunar material, possibly even representing the lunar mantle. This is the biggest surprise, or let's say, the biggest puzzle for us. Unexpected discoveries are pioneering and original.
With the continuously emerging data, Chinese scientists have already achieved substantial scientific results. In just a few years, human understanding of the far side of the moon has surpassed all previous eras. But scientists are far from satisfied. Li Chunlai is even more excited about the near future when Chang'e 5 brings back lunar soil samples.
To truly better understand the natural world, we must have the capability to acquire data and samples by ourselves. This is called first-hand original data and materials. We also hope to uncover this mystery soon, and are eager to receive the lunar samples.
On October 21, 2019, the Long March 5Y3 rocket with a total weight approaching 1,000 tons was divided into 40 containers for transportation. 2 Yuanwang rocket transport ships were ready to set sail. In Beijing at the China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology, the departure ceremony for the Long March 5Y3 mission was in full swing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 850 days of zeroing out and our results have proven that we are a team faces challenges head-on and becomes stronger with every setback. We will surely achieve complete success with the Y3 mission.
Every rocket transport is a big day in the space city. Neither wind, rain, nor temperature drops could dampen people's enthusiasm. Li Dong comes for the third time to bid farewell to Fat 5. Behind his relaxed smile is the confidence born from enduring hardships and a mix of emotions that outsiders could hardly understand.
Let me give a brief report. The rocket you see now is the third one, which we call Y3. The main goal is to assess all the improvements made to the rocket.
Every face is filled with smiles that come from the inner fulfillment and belief. After over 900 days of hardships, night falls as the launch of the Y3 rocket begins.
The closer it gets to the launch, the more excitement and tension build up. They are both rising rapidly. The pressure is understandably high.
After more than 900 days of relentless effort, we eagerly anticipated the flight test. We had been looking forward to this day for a long time.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
the moment of ignition, our emotions soared just like the rocket. We were instantly ignited with excitement.
The entire launch process would last over 2,000 seconds. Every second of these 30 minutes was an ordeal for everyone in the Launch Control Center.
Boosters separate. I was thrilled every time the boosters separated, but on the day of the Y3 launch, we were so tense all the time.
As we approached the point where the Y2 had failed, I was particularly anxious. Once we passed it, I was relieved. Around 500 seconds, the first shutdown of the second stage came. First shutdown of the second stage. After the shutdown, there was another glide phase lasting about 1,000 seconds. It was absolutely torture. An inertial glide in these 1,000 seconds. It shouldn't have any problems, we knew that. But it still felt so incredibly long. We had never experienced time moving so slowly. Until the final separation of the payload and the rocket. Everything was precise and accurate. At that moment, everyone couldn't hold back any longer.
When the success finally arrived, the previous hardships and challenges made the joy even sweeter. However, what they celebrated was not personal success, but a miracle created together. From July 2nd, 2017 to December 27th, 2019. It was a total of 908 days. These 908 days and nights were referred to as the darkest hours. Only those who have walked through darkness can truly cherish the light. Only after tasting the bitterness of failure can one fully appreciate the sweetness of success.
Tomorrow, we will be fully prepared and ready to embark again.
This night, over 10,000 rocket people who endured 908 days of anxiety for the Y3 reflight finally breathed a sigh of relief.
Hello, my kid. Have you watched the TV news? Excited? You have suffered a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Mom and Dad. The family is also happy for us. Our space workers' families share our worries and fears. When we succeed, we share the joy and happiness together. It's not easy for any of us.
Back in his dormitory, Li Dong, filled with thoughts and unable to sleep, composed this Sung-style poem, Qing Yuan, Reflight. How could I bear to recall the broken arrow? Tears fill my face, and my heart is torn apart. 13 years through wind and rain. One night, frost descends, ashamed to face the people of my hometown. For 900 days, sleep with my oath, countless hardships, beyond words. How could I dare to rest for a moment tonight? As the smoke clears, raise my gaze on the moon, wondering when it will be full again.
Someone pursuing a career they love will not have an easy journey. A strong person doesn't shy away from difficulties or retreat. Facing challenges head-on. If I fall, I get up and keep running. It's not that a strong person never sheds tears. They just keep running even while crying.